All right, welcome back. All right, we're in the week 4. Here is the housekeeping work information you need to know. Um, 2 things. I won't have a lecture this Thursday. As we are on the back end of this project, let's do this. I want you to work on it, and I'll cover off on everything today. But it's week 4, and if you instead of listening to me jibber jabber, week 4 is like Thursday. You get it. You can work. You don't have to log in. You don't have to check for videos. Nothing. And the end of this project will be due on Tuesday, the 18th. Then you get 1 day break. Like everything is due on Tuesday, the 18th. We have a 1 day break, and then we're going to start up again on Thursday, the 20th, and that's going to start week 5. And then so for 3 weeks, we're going to be offset. Blame the college, not me, because we have these like no student in-service days, and then they have to do 1 per every day of the week, whatever. So just note in your head, we don't have a lecture this Thursday. I want you to work, clean everything up, get it looking nice, share with me, I'll share back. And then next week, Tuesday, we don't meet either. And it's a MATC. You shouldn't have any classes on that Tuesday. And then we meet again on the 20th. It seems so long, but it is what it is. Then we'll start up on the next project. We wipe our hands clean of the event ticket giveaway, and we move on to a new project on the 20th. All great, 1 and done. It'll be wonderful. No worries there. So that is the housekeeping. I don't know how many times, just all the dates. Everything is dated. It's in there correctly. Check your due dates. Stuff is due 2/18, 2/18, 2/18. 2/18, end of the day. So it's all good. And then the week 5 won't even open up for you guys until you need to worry about it. So that is that with that fun, interesting stuff. But I want to make sure everybody knows. And if you're ever wondering, you can check your calendar for due dates. Mine looks, here it is. And then you don't have to worry about anything because it won't populate until you need to know about it. Hopefully that eases anxieties. All right, fun lectures. Let's get to it. First one, I'm going to do paste in place. If you don't know about it, know about it. Not a day goes by where I don't use paste in place. It is one of those, it's super hard to do by hand, but I use it all the time. I use it in Illustrator all the time, and I use it in InDesign all the time. And I'm going to just show you it, though. I'm going to show you in the weird way by doing it with no key commands. So say I have 3 artboards. There's 2 ways to do stuff. So say I have a circle here, right? Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, no, my system's not working. Something shut down. Okay, I got a circle. Oh, weird. And I want this circle in the exact same spot on all these artboards. And oddly, I have another set. So I can just copy that. So I'll go up to Edit, Copy. And then if I activate this artboard, by activating, I mean you have to click on it once, and it's very hard to see. But the edge will get darker comparatively. See that change? It's so hard to see. I wish they made it actually more apparent. But if I go back out and I go to Edit, Paste in Place, it's putting that exactly where it was on this document. There's no movement, no nothing. If you flip from page to page, those will be in the exact same place. Now, the great part is I go to this and I have another section of these. I can go to Edit, Paste in Place. And it will do it again. It's mathematically in the same spot. I use this all the time. It's like a time saver. Why even estimate, guesstimate, whatever. The next biggest one is when you just do a copy and then you hit edit, paste on all artboards, and then it, does it across there. Start to use it. And then in InDesign, I use it. It does the same thing. But there's times when master pages, or parent pages. Oh, sorry. They used to call them master pages. And then they changed them to parent pages. I still can't stop calling them master pages. I use parent pages all the time, but then there's something like I only want on like a couple pages, or it's here and there. And it's the exact same situation. I'll just do a rectangle in the bottom corner because I'm like, this is where I want, a something or other. And all I do is edit, copy, and I go to the next one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it differently because that's too nice and neat. I'm going to go up here. It's just in a weird spot. So I'm going to go to edit, copy, and then I go to this next page. So I'm on the next page, edit, paste in place, edit, paste in place. Again, I'm clicking on all 3 pages and see how there's not a single skip as I go back and forth. You can't even tell the pages are changing. So it is a tool that is indispensable to me when you're doing more than one page. I use it all the time. Where does the logo go? Well, if you can't use parent pages, then you use paste in place. It is a time saver. Again, it's one of those I have to actually, because paste in place is four buttons at once. I can't do that with my hands. So I always have to use paste in place. But if you can hold down all 4 of those buttons at once and learn that, good for you, use it. But this is one I have to actually go up and use. It is, like I said, it's a lifesaver. It's why even, I used to go in and then I would make guides and measure and be do all this dumb stuff until this came along. I'd put a little circle next to here and a circle next to here, and then I'd copy all 3 and then line them up with the artboard again and line them with the artboard again. Whew, was I wasting time? It was horrible. So of all these tools, recommended things to help you, we talk to industry, that's one of those. Start to use paste in place. It helps with accuracy. It helps with fine details and making every piece you have look fully professional. Of course, you're working on same size document. Where does this come in handy? All these presentations you make for me, that's where they come in handy. That's where you use paste in place. You want a background on every page? You make one background, make one board look perfect, select all, paste in place, place in place, place in place, lock them and leave them. And then you're done. So just letting everybody know about that if you haven't, and just to know more about it. And these, it's in there. Use it where needed. Yeah. All right, next one. This one I always get excited about. Outlining fonts. All right. We all love to outline fonts. And then you hear from a bunch of us, stop outlining your fonts because you're doing it incorrectly. It's because when we turn on and we just type out a font and we're like, I want it outlined. Awesome. We just hit outline. Blah, 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 blah. But the problem is when you hit the outline goes on both sides of the edge of the letter. What that does is it starts to destroy the letter itself. And we don't want that. You want the outline to be on the outside of the letter, so it's not affecting the inside of the letter. It's finite, but it's professional. And we don't, as you all know, we do not distort type. It's just not done. So how do we do it? Easy peasy. I'm going to type out, font in all caps. And I'm going to kind of do this real big. All right, that is what? Why is it stretched? There you go. See, always check these, this and this. I check this on all your assignments, people. I check if these aren't both 100. That's when you hear like, what? Hey, why are you stretching the font? I didn't stretch it. And then I'm like, no, here it is. I can see you did, even if it's a mistake. All right, I wanted something bold because like we like to, oh, here's this friend font of mine. No, that's a bad one to do. It's too weird. I'm gonna do Arial black. And then I want maybe a lowercase a. There we go. All right, so this is my font. And we're like, yeah, I want an outline on it, and I want it to be red. And I want it, I got to go huge. I'm going to go like 20. Look what happens. Look at my A. As I increase that size, what's happening? The outline is overtaking the font. We don't want that. Even if it's a little bit, even if you're like, well, I just want like 10. It's going inside and destroying that font. How do we get around that? All right, it's easy. You make 2 copies. One is behind, one is in front. So this one is in front. Object, I'm just going to do it now. Bring the front. I know that's in front. This is behind. Now I want a red outline on the font. All I do is choose red, crank it up, like what do I want, like 40. As we can see, that looks like, all I need to do is then put this font on top of that font and line them up perfectly. That way, the glyph, if you would, for each letter is not destroyed in any way. It still has the outline, but we still have our full letter. So that is wrong, but just put the correct one on top of it. Here's where it gets even better. You can do funky stuff like offset it then, have it be a little bit weird. So there's more things you can do and you can adjust that. But when you outline a font, titles, whatever, you can do titles. Okay, not body copy. For cramity's sake, do not outline body copy or put an outline on it. When you do a title, it always takes 2. Yes.
The A in the middle, though, is still distorted.
Where? Here?
Yeah.
That little piece?
Yeah.
Well, you know what you do? If you don't like that as the artist, you go in and you fill it in with red. All you do is this. If you don't like that there, fill red. I do that all the time.
Oh, I thought you would fill it with white like the O was, but okay.
No. Oh, so I would rather, instead of a teeny bit of white, have a full fill of red.
Okay.
It just, because like, why have just this little hint of something? Like, just get rid of it. Nobody will look at it and be like, oh, I wonder why there's not just like a little teeny bit of white there. Then I go in and I fill those up. And I'll go through and I'll hand do it. Because, as we think like, oh, that's a lot of work. I'm only doing it on titles. I'm only doing it like on 3 words. And so it's not that much work to go in on 3 words, 20 some letters, and go through and be like, okay, I should fill in this space. The O is fine. But if I had like an E or something like that, it's, not filled enough. You just go and you personally fill it. So that is how you properly outline a font and have it not destroy the letter form. So, and I do check that that's why I have everybody, when you send me your files and I'm like, oh, you outlined the font wrong. You're like, what do you mean wrong? This is the way. Of course, I don't care if you're doing a circle, if you're doing a square, if you're doing a triangle, I don't care how you outline it. But when it comes to a font, you never destroy the glyph that, somebody spent hours on creating by having the outline come in on it. That's also why we, so passionate about not squishing, squashing, or anything with a font. So there's how you outline the font. And I got the little thing kind of talks about it. The little PDF that's included does have a bunch of the steps of it, like top layer, bottom layer combined. And that's why. So it's not something to ruin, It's like a painting. Don't ruin the painting. All right. I think the next big one is vehicle wraps for some of you. Vehicle wraps. They're harder. They're different. I want to show you something you can do. I've seen a couple people who haven't been able to find necessarily the vector version of their vehicle, or I know there's a bunch of sites you got to pay for it, or I know somebody in class has done this, a cool old car, and this actually isn't too, oh, that's pretty good. Make sure you find high res when you can. Check those file sizes. So I typed in, I'll show you what I did, everybody. I just typed in 1957 Chevy vehicle outline, and it came to this. When I went to the website, okay, I'm going to show you two things. So you got to be sneaky as designers. We can be sneaky with this. And it sometimes changes, you're like, oh, you can charge the client to get the correct one. But if you're just in mock-up phase, I rolled over this and I was like, oh, this is 2000 pixels wide. It's 1949 by 1018. I was like, that's actually pretty big. But when you go to visit the site, I don't think it's as big. It wasn't giving me, and it was like, you could download, get the raster image. I'm not sure if it was as big. So always look at those things and where you can kind of quote unquote find the best for free. It's all right. Nobody's gonna. You're doing mock-ups as a student. It's not the end of the world. It only gets in the trouble when you if you plagiarize and don't do it correctly. Why is it not letting me adjust this? All right, I gotta make this smaller. Somebody came in and really messed some stuff up. All right. I'm starting new. File. New. Horizontal. Create. Now I got my image. I'm going to take my image from here. Whatever. Copy. Paste. Because it doesn't matter where it goes on this one. And I'm going to make it big. Now I've got my stuff. So I'm going to select it all. Make sure I just know the matter back part. I got the pattern. I got the background. And I'm going to do a big grab. I'm grabbing it all. I'm going to double check. Paste. Remember, layers is selected. I'm going to go to my vehicle. And I'm going to paste. Shoot. First, I have to hit copy. Copy. Paste. I'm just going to ignore this. All right. I'll put it down here. Now, this is my vehicle. And it's just an image. And I'm going to move my stuff up. And some of you may be saying, but how can I have as much fun as I'm having on my poster and add it to the vehicle? Well, I'm going to keep a vehicle layer at the bottom. And then I'm going to make a copy of that vehicle. I'm going to bring this one to the top. I'm going to lock it. And then I'm going to select my image. Oops, I moved it a bit. And I'm going to go with my image selected. Where's properties? Opacity. I'm going to go from normal to multiply. And I'm going to lock that. Now I can unlock all of this other stuff and I can start to play around. And then I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to do it very quickly. So now I have, and if it's hard to see, just give me a second. Is my background yellow? Boom. Right? And then I got my background pattern. I should be able to, oh. Got to do a direct select. So I want my pattern all over the car. This is, like we're going crazy. Like we want to grab people's attention. I'm not just looking for a single logo just floating here, put this on the door. I'm going to delete that one I don't need, for the sake of this, put this up here. Like we get this on the door, real big. Gotta remember, you gotta see it. Gotta see it. Got that there. Got my dates and stuff. Move the date. Put the date across the tail fin. Make it bigger. Now I'm rushing this to kind of be able to show you everything. This the body copy. I don't need this. I don't think I'm gonna put this on. It's like too much, All they need to know is bubbler, don't burst my summer bubble getaway, March 1st to May 31st. And then we got some product shots on here because, you got to sell the product. They need to know what they're buying. Saw this spot right here. And I'm watching lines, I'm looking at all the lines. Get one up here. Now I'm not done. So say I called this and I was like, okay, I'm done. It is a little distracting, isn't it? Well then, because you are the great artist that you are, all you need to do, take the pen tool and make the shape. And you can kind of be quick about it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this should take you a couple minutes. So what I'm gonna do is just find a spot and start. I'm gonna take the pen tool, I've got a layer, and I'm just gonna go through, and because I have a thick black line, I can kind of be a little bit messy with it. And I'm just gonna go around. And I'm outlining the car. It's take you a couple minutes. So this shouldn't be like, oh, I didn't do it because it would take me too long. This should just take a couple minutes. It's the pen tool. It's something you use every day. And if it has a nice thick black outline, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the wheels. I don't want the wheels covered, do I? No. Nobody's going to do their wheels. Come down. I think this is correct. The giant wheel well. I'm guessing. I don't know. It's going to look fine. Go back all the way back here. Come up to here. Again, I'm going to mask out all the stuff that doesn't need to be there, but I'm doing it quote unquote properly. And then the great part is I only have to do this once. It works on both sides of the car. It should. And this is easy. This is take the time. 5 minutes is all it's going to take you to do this. And I'll show you the next step because it involves my new favorite tool in the world, Shape Builder. All right, so I outlined the car. Remember, I'm on a different layer. I call this mask. And I'm not even going to go through the process of a whole all the algorithm stuff to make a mask and no, just down and dirty sometimes is all that you need. So if I select these two, I'll turn off the vehicle. See that? Now I'm going to go to Shape Builder, click in the middle. And what it did is it made the middle shape a path. And then I turn this back on. And now all I have to concentrate on is the vehicle. And then next up, I want it even better. I'll go back to the mask. And with white, I got my pen tool, I got white. You can be sloppy with this again. I mean, sloppy on the outside. We don't need to see, nothing on the windows. You can do the windows. Here is the law. Driver's side, windshield can't be covered. Driver's side front can't be covered. Shoot, I can't remember now. The rear can be covered with perf. The rear passenger and driver's sides can be covered with perf. I think the windshield and the front and side, like front passenger, can't be covered. Legal, you can't see out of it. If you cover it, you can't see out. And there we go. Oh, and I can keep the back of it. Because then, like what I might do, and there it is, just down and dirty. But this is now just showing me the vehicle. And this is what I talk about, like design it flat. This is designed flat. I'm not worrying about, it's going around corners and all that kind of gobbledygook. We don't worry about that. Like we get it in there, and then when it goes to print, they worry about that. It's like their job to be like, okay, we need to make this fit around the thing. We're going to resize it. They have exact measurements, like, so if I was doing the back, you see how things change though. Like that's all that'll fit back there. Oh, I got that stupid thing set. Okay. Somebody came in and messed with my settings. My corners change sizes and stuff like that. So that's how you do the vehicle. And you just do it on all the sides, and you can even do the top of it. But that's how you do it. Use the transparency, use the multiply, put one on the top, one on the bottom, so you can see through, and block out what you don't want with white. Easy peasy. Any questions about that? Again, it's just working with layers. And then the big one is the vehicle. Yes.
Does it have to be a vehicle? Could it be a SUV?
That is a vehicle.
Oh, all righty.
Yeah, I've even done the example of using a scooter. Bunch of mopeds driving around would be cool. It's just I think I joked about a bicycle, but yeah. But no, it can be an SUV. It can be whatever you want. Just something they're driving around. They open the trunk. They got samples. It's like a lot of fun to get people involved. So that's what it's part of, Spring break, or before spring break, you're handing out bubblers, getting students excited. They're all about to leave and they buying 6-packs. So no, I'm not there. There's no reason for Photoshop. You've done everything. The reason being, I won't show you Photoshop is because you would never do the graphics in Photoshop and send them out. They would be so enormous that you'd be working on hours to do a full-size wrap for a vehicle. So everything should be done in Illustrator because it should all be vector graphics. And that's why. We don't like Photoshop in graphic design is used for photos. That's it. Like cool effects, maybe on a title here or there, but handing over Photoshop files for print is really never done, or it's kind of questionable. Like, okay, you have to work really high res. It has to be nice. Like, there's so many issues that happen with that. So this is the way to do it. Everything can be done. If wherever you got your template from, you can bring it into Illustrator. You have all your bits and pieces. I hope you're working in Illustrator. It's the way, it's way to work. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you the story. We was at my other job. We had an intern come in, and we looked at the designs. The designs were good. Oh yeah, intern for us, and all the designs ended up being like enormously large, like so large, like the network was slow. And we'd be like, what is going on? What's wrong? And we would do very simple, like cornhole. He did a cornhole, and it was supposed to look like a football field, and there wasn't anything major in it. But we're like, why is this so big? It's because he built the cornhole file. He did it all in Photoshop, 2 size at like 600 DPI. And even though it was a very simple design, it ended up being like a terabyte, and we couldn't use it. And eventually we had to let this person go because we found out they couldn't do it. They didn't know Illustrator. They didn't know InDesign. All they really knew was Photoshop. And we kind of had to let them know, like, we can't do that. It's not feasible in the industry to reference to Photoshop. So that is why I will not show you how to do what I did here in Photoshop. You should be doing it in Illustrator. And it's as easy as I shot. You take all the stuff from your other files that you did in Illustrator and InDesign, just copy and paste them and put them in here. It's just as easy. In fact, it's easier and quicker. You don't have to wait for processing time. So that is why. Photoshop is for photos. We're still designing here. And then this goes out. It's a flat file. It's easy. Anybody can take it apart and work on it. You do a Photoshop file. Those get like really kind of difficult in the industry to work with. So sorry to burst your summer bubble with that comment. So, I mean, this is recorded. Watch what I do again. It's a short video, just skip over when I upload it to YouTube. So that is why I don't talk about Photoshop very much, because I literally, the only reason I use Photoshop is to mark up other people's work. Like, I never use Photoshop except for when I'm teaching it. Like, I have an image, I clean up the image or whatever, but like not much, and I put it in my work. I'm rarely in Photoshop. It is just for photos. Enough about Photoshop. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right, cool. Again, kind of just pay attention to those dates. I'll try to send out little emails about, like, don't worry, no lecture on Thursday. I'll check everything. No school. I think the school sends out notifications about next week, Tuesday. And then we'll start on something new on February 20th. So, all right. Thank you very much. If you do have questions, comments, or concerns, or if you want to have a separate meeting, let me know. I'm also available. Yeah, Thursday. It's like I'm not going to be around on Thursday, but if you need to talk to me, I'm here. I'm going to be on campus, and can set up a meeting. So let me know. Always happy to do that. All right. Take care. If I don't talk to you in person or on the discussion boards, I'll be back lecturing on February 20th. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.